Okay, get this. A company that's literally built on freelancers lays off its own employees to go all in on AI, while also promising that very same AI will empower freelancers. It sounds kind of like a riddle, right? But it's exactly what's happening at Fiverr, and honestly, it might just be a sneak peek into the future of work for every single one of us. So let's break this down and figure out what's really going on.
But before we dive deep into the Fiverr story, we've got to zoom out a little bit. Because what happened there isn't just happening in a bubble. In just the first 3 months of 2024, the tech industry cut over 238,000 jobs. That is a staggering industry-wide reset, which of course brings up one massive question. So, is AI really the culprit here? Are all these jobs just vanishing into the digital ether? Or is AI just the perfect scapegoat for companies that maybe hired way too fast during the pandemic boom? That's the big mystery we're going to try and solve today.
All right, so let's call this whole thing what it is, the great AI shakeup. And smack in the middle of this storm, we find our main story.
And here we are, in June. Fiverr, when you think gig economy, you think Fiverr, right? They made this absolutely drastic move, cutting nearly a third of their own people. For a company that's the champion of independent work, that sent some major shockwaves.
So why? What was the official line for making such a huge and dramatic change? Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. When decision makers were actually surveyed about this, look at the top reason they gave: new tech and efficiency. 44%. And right behind that, irrelevant skills. The whole "we overhired" excuse, that's actually third on the list. So yeah, tech is absolutely the main character in this story. And that's the key takeaway here. This wasn't just about saving a few bucks. Nope. It was a full-on strategic pivot. Fiverr is basically going all in, betting the house on AI automation to make the whole company run smoother. But as we all know, that kind of efficiency, it always has a price.
And that price is usually paid by the people who are left, right? The ones who survive the layoffs. In this case, that's the other 70% of Fiverr's team.
And wow, the fallout was instant. Think about this. A whopping 89% of managers said their top concern was morale and burnout. It makes sense, right? Your friends at work are gone, but the work isn't. It just lands on your desk, along with a whole lot of anxiety. And the ripple effects just keep going. On top of the burnout, you've got 91% of managers worried that their teams are constantly looking over their shoulders, thinking, "Am I next?" And here's the real kicker. 72% of executives straight up admitted they had no real plan to support the people who were left. Crazy, right? So, what was their big idea to fix this mess? So, you've got fewer people, but the same mountain of work. What do? Well, if you're Fiverr, the answer is kind of poetic, actually. You hire freelancers.
And this quote from their chief marketing officer says it all. Basically, he's saying freelancers aren't just for side gigs anymore. They're becoming a central part of how companies plan to survive and thrive, especially when things get choppy.
And it looks like the numbers backed him up. The playbook is pretty straightforward. Step 1, layoffs happen, leaving these huge gaps. Step 2, almost 70% of companies bring in freelancers to fill those gaps. And the result? It's pretty incredible. 97% say they balance the workload. And get this, 95% say they actually improve morale for the full-timers. Who would have thought?
Now, the engine driving this whole strategy is a new piece of tech called Fiverr Go. And this is super important. It's not AI that replaces the freelancer. It's AI that assists the freelancer. Think of it like an AI sidekick that handles all the annoying admin stuff, invoicing, scheduling, all that, so the human can focus on the actual creative work that they were hired to do.
Okay, so what does any of this mean for your job? Because let's be real, this whole Fiverr model, leaner teams, more AI, more freelancers, this could easily be the blueprint for how millions of us will be working in the not-so-distant future.
And you can really look at this future as two sides of the same AI coin. On the one hand, you've got the promise. You've got real growth. Fiverr's revenue shot up almost 15%, mostly from AI-related gigs. That means new jobs, more flexibility, all that good stuff. But then you flip the coin, and that's the peril. You've got widening skill gaps, you've got a race to the bottom on pricing, and of course, zero traditional job security. And the whole thing is built on shaky legal ground. And when I say shaky legal ground, I mean it's an all-out war. Just look at what's been happening in California. You had the state pass a law, AB 5, to turn gig workers into employees with benefits. Then, the gig companies poured millions into passing their own law, Prop 22, to make themselves exempt.
This tug of war over what a worker even is, it's not going away. It's right at the heart of this entire new model.
So that really brings us to the final and maybe most important question. The story of Fiverr is a window into a possible future, one with smaller companies, more automation, and a whole lot of freelancers. Sure, it's efficient, it drives growth. But as AI pushes us faster and faster down this road, you have to ask, who gets to write the new rulebook? Is it the companies building the tech? Is it the workers navigating this new landscape? Or the governments just trying to figure it all out? That's the real question, and the answer is going to define work for all of us.